Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. I am a money coach and I love sharing videos to help you save money, take control of your finances so that you can change your life. And today I am talking about one of my favorite topics when it comes to budgets, and that's a sinking fund. I've mentioned sinking funds in my videos before, and once in a while I'll get a comment either on Instagram or on YouTube, and I'll get the question, what is a sinking fund? And I'll also get the question of what is a slush fund? And so I thought, oh my gosh, I have so much to say about this. I'm like, so I might as well do a video. So what a sinking fund is an account that you designate for a specific goal. What is the difference between a sinking fund and a slush fund? Absolutely nothing. It's just a different way that people want to say it. I like the term sinking fund because you're literally sinking money into the account for a specific reason. So if you have a specific goal, whether it's something fun like a vacation or something more practical like a car, a sinking fund is a great way to save money for that goal. And that's what a sinking fund is. It's a designated account for a specific goal. So for example, let's use a car. Let's say that you want to purchase a car and the car is $10,000. You designate an amount of time that you want to save for that purchase. So then once you have the amount and you have the time frame that you want to save for it, then what you do is you divide that time frame by the amount of paychecks that you get within that time frame, and that is the amount that you should designate per pay to go into that sinking fund. So I like to use sinking funds for fun and also for practical reasons. And I used to have 3, but I now have 4 sinking funds. So I'm going to get into that in a minute. Another question that I've gotten is, what is the difference between a sinking fund and a regular savings account? Another wonderful question. So the difference is you have a savings account so that you can start building wealth, so that you can have that money available in case something happens. But a sinking fund is designated again for a specific goal. So if an emergency happens in your home, you can either use your emergency fund, which if you don't know much about emergency funds or you want more information, I'm going to link my emergency fund video at the end so you can go check that out. But an emergency fund is there in case an emergency happens. A savings account should be a place where you put money where you're just stashing it away so that you can build wealth. And a sinking fund, again, is for a specific goal. So that's the difference between a sinking fund and a regular savings account. Now, when it comes to sinking funds, one of the things that I love to use it for is for fun. But whether you're using it for fun or for a practical reason, for example, the car, I find that a sinking fund also benefits your budget because since it's aside from everything else, so it's not part of your checking account, it's not part of your emergency fund or your regular savings, you can still see it. It's a separate account. By adding more money to that goal, and what I like to do, honestly, for added motivation is I will name each sinking fund what it's for. So let's say you have a car sinking fund. So every time you put money into that car sinking fund, you're watching that amount get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it motivates you to continue to save more money for that goal. So I hope I've been able to clear up what a sinking fund is or a slush fund. Now I want to talk about my sinking funds. I love them. Once I started with this, I really felt like my budget was complete. Like for the longest time, we had our budget, a basic budget, like because I've said in many of my videos, I like to keep budgeting simple. Some people talk about having like a million accounts and then they move money from this account to that account, and to each their own. But what I like to do is I like to talk about keeping things simple, because when things are simple, we're more likely to stay on top of it. Procrastinators like me, if things are overly burdensome or complicated, like I tend to push it off. And the last thing you want to do is to push off your finances because that's when you can get in trouble. You can start overspending, not knowing where your money's going. Don't get me started. So I love my sinking funds because, again, it's motivating to see those amounts get higher and higher and know that you're getting closer to your goal. So again, I have 4 sinking funds. So let's talk about the practical ones first because they're more boring. Car insurance. That's my newest one because I've talked about it in other videos, but my husband and I pay our car insurance one time a year. So we pay for the entire year. And it's something that I've never done before until just the last few years with my husband and I, because I always thought a car insurance should be paid monthly. But our car insurance is giving us a great discount. It's almost 20% off. So talk about a great discount. And because of that, we pay it in one lump sum at the end of January. So when I get that bill, I hate paying that thing because the amount is like, it's a big amount, even though we have a great discount, paying that one time a year, when you look at that number, I'm like, ugh, I hate it. So in order to avoid that moment, I've decided to do a sinking fund for our car insurance. So what I did is, again, I took the amount that I know I'm going to pay every year because the premium never really goes up much, a few dollars. And I divided it up by all the paychecks between each year when we have to pay our yearly car insurance. And that is the amount that I designate per paycheck that I automatically, as soon as I pay my bills, the next thing I do is I take the designated amounts and I put them in the sinking fund. That way I know I haven't missed a paycheck and that every month that account is increased. So that's one of my boring ones. But again, it cuts back on the stress of opening up that envelope once a year and being like, ugh, I have to pay this now. My second one, that's a practical one, and again, it's to relieve stress, is our car maintenance fund. Now, we have 2 cars that are completely paid off. Thank goodness. Love that. And so maintenance is really important when you're planning on keeping your car for a very, very, very long time and driving it down to the ground. So for us, that car maintenance is a very important fund. And I can't stand it when my husband says to me, he's going to take the car for an oil change. And next thing you know, I get a text message or a call saying, oh, the brake pads are low, or the tires need to be rotated, because that $50, $60 oil change turns out to be a few $100s almost every time. And I know when my husband watches this, he's going to be like, it's not my fault. I know. So every single time he has to take one of the cars in for maintenance, I am ready for a few $100s that we have to pay. So what I did is I looked at how much we paid for car maintenance for the entire year on both cars. And like I said, same exact thing, divided it by paycheck. I have that designated amount and it automatically goes into our car fund. So now the fun ones, right? So Christmas. I've seen when I'm doing people's budgets that they ask me, should I set money aside for Christmas, Hanukkah, the holidays? And I always say, absolutely, because you never want to rely on your credit cards for anything that you can't pay off at the end of the month. Obviously, I'm talking about people that are not living paycheck to paycheck. And if you are living paycheck to paycheck, I'm going to leave a video at the end where I help you save money and get out of that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. And I've gotten so many comments that that video is helpful. So if you are, I hope you watch it. Again, I'm going to link it at the end. But if you're not living paycheck to paycheck, you should never charge something on a credit card that you can't pay off at the end of the month, because then you're going to do what? Pay interest. And I'm going to do a credit card video soon, and I'll let you guys know when it's coming out. So Christmas should never be on a credit card unless you have unless you have a Christmas fund set aside, so when you get that credit card bill, you can pay it in full. Because if that's the case, then you get to use your points and your rewards for using your credit card, and that's amazing. But a Christmas or holiday fund, I believe, is such an important part of a budget, because you never want to dip into any other account or put something on a credit card that you can't pay off. So that is our third fund. And again, same exact thing. I looked at how much we spent on our highest year during the holidays, which was 3 years ago now. And I did the exact same thing, did the math, that amount automatically per paycheck goes right on over to our Christmas fund. And the last one, can you tell I'm like animated now? The boring ones are out of the way. The best one is our Disney fund. We were so happy to go to Disney for 8 days. I was gonna say a week. I mean 2 weeks. I was gonna say I wish. 8 days in 2009. And we had such an amazing time. And literally, we've been talking about going back since we got back in 2019. So talk about wishful thinking. But that fund is well funded now. So once we feel comfortable traveling, that is exactly where we're going to go. And I'm going to do a video on how I save money on our trip as well. But I can't wait. That is a fund that every time that I have that extra, even extra cash at the end, that I've already fully funded all of our accounts, extra cash, including that money that is designated for that account, goes right in, because I just want to see that account grow after budgeting and being so smart, I'm trying to say the right word, about our finances, and fully funding our emergency fund, paying off $48,000 of credit card debt a few years ago. Now we're funding our kids' 529 plans and planning for our retirement. Our Roth IRAs are fully maxed every year. Our 401ks at work are increased now with our contributions. So any extra cash that I have that isn't designated for a certain place, like anything extra like overtime and things like that, that goes right into our vacation fund, because again, it's motivating. It is so motivating to see that account get higher and higher, and know that when it's time to plan, I'm going to still frugal the heck out of it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to have that money available so that we never have to ever put something on a credit card that we can't pay off at the end of the month. So I hope I've cleared up what a sinking fund is and how important and fun they can be. And honestly, they are such a great tool to make sure that your goals are reached, whether it's something practical or something fun. Well, if you guys need additional help from me, again, I'm a money coach. I am going to leave a link to my calendar down below. Feel free to schedule a free 30-minute call with me. Or if you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me. I'm going to leave my email address down below as well. Well, I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please click the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.